Hello everybody, this is Spirelli and welcome back to Astrologaster. RIP.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth. Buy herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
I was starting with like a clickbait title. I love it. I love... Oh, this is genius.
Good even, sir. Who do I have the pleasure of welcoming to my chambers this day?
Nicholas Muggs, proprietor of Muggs Rugs down on Silver Street.
Ah, the wig makers. You supply wigs to players, do you not? I have heard tell of your fine work from some of my playhouse querents.
I thank ye for your kindness, sir. I do hear you are very skilled at your trade also. For are you not the curer of the plague of '92? Forsooth, I do hope you may cure me as well. For though I do not think I have the plague, whatever I have is doubtless most grave, no matter what my wife thinks.
And what is it your wife thinks?
It be her mind that I have taken naught but a chilly cold in the head. But 'tis not so, Doctor Forman, for I ache all over. My throat is grown sore, and I cough day and night.
Day and night, you say?
Is it Rona?
Verily.
I see. Then let us consult the stars. What does ail Nicholas Mugg?
Well, let's find out. I ache all over, my throat is sore and I cough day and night. What ails me? I struggle with hypochondria, possibly induced by witchcraft. This condition could one day prove fatal. Like I was taking a cold in the head, symptoms of which include a cough, short-windedness, a hoarse throat, and a pain throughout the body. Or Mike suffering from cardiac passion, characterized the short-windedness and grievous pain, but the heart throughout the body. No. So let's say he actually feels it because that's what he wants to hear. Definitely, he's like, my wife doesn't understand, but that's actually so. I'm going to tell you it's something caused by Jupiter, and it's real.
I am pleased to say that your wife is correct, and you have little to worry over. You have what we doctors call frigidus ad hominem, or as it is more commonly known, a man cold.
Frigid... A man cold, you say?
Aye, 'tis a cold in the head, suffered uniquely by those of the male sex. And although it be a minor affliction, the suffering can be very great.
A minor affliction, you say? That cannot be right. I bid you check the stars again, sir. For see how ill I am, and my throat grows so hoarse I can hardly speak.
I think the trouble in your throat may be occasioned by overuse. Perhaps you might try, discoursing less.
Well, I think you ought to know that I will be seeking a second opinion.
As you will, sir. Good day.
This is not what I understood from the stars. What I understood is that I tell him, oh yes, it's in your throat. Because the first one is he's a hypochondria, which that wouldn't have pleased him. The other one was a heart issue. And that wouldn't cause a sore throat, now would it? I wanted to tell him that yes, indeed, he's very gravely ill. The query did present with a pain, a sore throat, and coughing. I did diagnose frigidus ad hominem, a cold in the head suffered by... Oh, maybe it did say cold in the head, and I didn't read it correctly. Suffered uniquely by man, as it is, in truth, but a minor affliction. I did not prescribe any treatment. Methinks the current took my advice a little ill. I will now to the apothecary go for a tincture of herbs. An apothecary may always be counted on to sell a manicure. Yeah, because they make a profit by selling you stuff, don't they?
Robert Lord Devereux, a rising star, dashing and debonair, he will go far. Oh, London greets him with cries of huzzah. In truth, we cannot stay where we are.
So, how is wearing that lead piece going?
Good day, my lord. How may I do you service? Would it pertain to some thrilling adventure upon which you may soon be embarking?
Indeed it does. Sir Walter Raleigh and I did recently come across some intelligence concerning a fleet of Spanish ships that will soon be sailing home from the New World, bearing a goodly cargo of gold. Raleigh and I plan to borrow the royal fleet, which we will use to intercept the ships and seize the treasure.
Okay.
Huzzah! But borrow the Royal Navy, you say?
Aye, only temporarily, of course. The Queen will hardly know her ships are gone. Indeed, when we return them to her bearing a handsome prize of Spanish gold, she will doubtless forgive our failure to file the correct paperwork and whatnot.
And if it goes wrong?
Doubtless. And how may I assist your lordship in this glorious endeavour?
Well, in order to intercept the Spanish fleet, we must know which route it is planning to take.
Oh,
One
God.
possibility is that it returns to Spain having retrieved the gold from the New World's southern continent. The other possibility, and this is the one Sir Walter thinks most likely, is that the gold has already been transported by conquistadors from the southern continent up to Havana, and the ships are to fetch it from there.
Then let us see whether the stars can tell us upon which route the treasure ships may be intercepted on their return to Spain from the New World. Will they be sailing from the southern continent or from the Spanish colony of Havana?
Well, I don't know my history lessons that well. So, are the Spanish ships sailing via Havana or direct from the southern New World continent? Crew of the Spanish ships happened upon the gold by conquering and killing its owners. That much seems correct. Through conquering a foreign people, the King of Spain established a fine cultural legacy for future generations. Fuck off. The Spanish sailors hide a shameful secret that relates to a lack of self-control. Oh, interesting. The Russian should trust his friend Rayleigh's opinion. Women factor to the Spaniards' travel plans. Okay, so it's basically just like, are they coming from South America or are they going through Havana? And I honestly don't know. Let's go with the secret and the women and whatever that brings. I guess. I guess?
The stars are of the same mind as your friend Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, for regardless of where the Spaniards load their ships with gold, they will stop at the port of Havana. It seems the Spanish sailors will be unable to calm their carnal desires.
Excellent, excellent. But where are we to intercept them? Pray, give me the precise day, latitude, and longitude.
Certainly,
What?
my lord. But divining nautical coordinates is a somewhat lengthy and complex process. If your lordship would kindly return in an hour or so.
Quickly, sir! I have not the time to bide here all day.
Wow.
Well then, let me see now. Taking into account the position of Jupiter, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yes. The Spanish treasure ships may be intercepted upon the 15th day of October at a latitude of 9 and 40 degrees north and 5 and 20 degrees west, or thereabouts.
Is that close
That
to
said,
Havana?
however, I cannot promise you that...
Excellent. Raleigh and I shall sail to this very spot. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Godspeed, my lord.
This will fail terribly and then it'll be on me, right? The Queen did wish to know where he and Sir Walter Raleigh might intercept some Spanish treasure ships. I did tell the Queen that the Spanish ships will be fetching the gold from Havana. I furnished him coordinates of a location where he and Raleigh might intercept them. May God be with our English fleet, for I had not the time to verify the soundness of my calculations. Methinks the Queen was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Almost. I wonder if my men have yet contrived to scrape all that damnable manchego cheese of my astrolabe? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Though she never went to school, and she's kind and never cruel, do not take Alice for a fool. Alice Clark, she is no fool.
You rhyme with fool and fool here. So she is the wife, right?
Good evening to you, madam. How might I...
Hi. Pray go tell your master, Mr. Forman, that Mistress Alice Blagg is come to see him.
Mistress Blagg. It is I, Doctor Simon Forman, at your service. And what an honour it is to welcome the wife of the Dean of Rochester to my humble practice. To whom do I owe my thanks for having recommended you to my care?
Well, I I will not lie. You owe your thanks to nobody. For folk do tell me that you are not a real doctor, but a quack, who does conjure demons and dabbles most unlawfully in the dark arts.
No.
I do assure you, madam, that whatever you may have heard, I am a...
Nay, do not quibble, sir. If I did seek the counsel of a doctor who has one of those fancy medical degrees, or the kind of high-bred know-it-all who does see fit to judge a woman and vex her most cruelly, I would have gone elsewhere. But, truth be told, I have need of such a man as you, for I have been bewitched by a witch.
Oh.
I see.
Yea, a loathsome spell has been cast upon me. It does cause me to awaken in the morning with a most terrible pain in my head, a pain so wretched it does have me chundering into my chamber pot.
Pain in the head and involuntary purging. And what leads you to believe your suffering is occasioned by witchcraft?
Well, the timing is most unnatural. My troubles do occur every Saturday morning without fail. I suspect the doings of our new neighbour, the widow MacDoon. As well as being Scottish, she does possess several cats.
Several cats, you say?
One or two of which I may have kicked, and now she has seen fit to take revenge upon me with her dark, foreign magic.
Indeed. Scotland is well known for the powerful black witchcraft practiced by its womenfolk. But as compelling as this evidence may be, my practice does draw upon the latest scientifical arts.
Of astrology.
To diagnose your condition, I must first perform a rigorous astronomical analysis. So, let us see now, what do the stars say is the cause of your Saturday morning suffering?
Well, I would go with something that happens Friday, because that would, it's every Saturday morning, so... Noxious food or drink. Yes, that is what I would go with. Spring, the early symptoms of being with child, presence of the moon suggested the symptoms are acute, but then it wouldn't happen only on Saturdays. Or she's bewitched, which, no, I'm not going with the witch. I am interested in just being a full-on quack and just telling everybody nonsense. I know I'm telling some people nonsense. I know that some people I'm telling the truth and they're not listening to me, which is a whole different matter. But I'm trying not to be a quack, though that might be fun.
Madam, may I delicately inquire as to whether it be the habit of you and your husband to take wine with supper? On Friday evenings, perchance? Drinking a little overmuch on occasion is nothing to be ashamed of. Many of my most respectable querents do find that a fine French claret can be deceptively...
Oh, nay, more's the pity. My husband is a tiresome teetotaler who prefers to spend his evenings writing sermons and counting coin. He hardly ever accompanies me to the tavern on Fridays.
Does he not? Well, in any case, I am much afraid that the ale you do consume upon these tavern visits may be to blame for your affliction. The consumption of strong drink can provoke an excess of black bile, which then does cause the body to purge itself the following day. I do advise you to consider...
Then I am not bewitched. If that be true, then to poor Molly MacDoon I have been most rude and unneighbourly. For shame. I must go to her this hour and apologise. Fare you well, Mr. Forman. I must bid you good day.
Of course. Also, hold back on, a couple of the drinks. The current did present with headache and involuntary upward purging. I did advise the current to moderate her consumption of wine and heady spirits. Methinks the current was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. I will invite my Scottish neighbour to take a conciliatory pint of ale with me. I was trying to... Okay.
Beware conspirations, plots and machinations, the schemes of big physic to sell you their wares. Their cures do us violence, but they call it science. They mock our beliefs and belittle our fears.
Okay. He's hypochondriac.
well met, Mr. Mugg. How fare you since our first consultation?
It seems as you were right.
Oh.
Though I was, in sooth, much troubled with the vile disease of, what did you say it was? Fudgipus and Honeyman, I did not die.
Frigidus ad hominem. I am most glad to hear it, sir. Indeed, you do look well.
I love the nose.
Mayhap I look well now, but 'twill not be for long. I have been poisoned.
No.
Poisoned? By the saints! Who is the author of this foul deed?
My friend George Sprottle, the bookbinder. I did dine with him not 2 hours ago.
Ah, I
And what
see.
now?
A bout of evil digestion. Pray tell, was there turned meat or some such at table?
Nay, not meat. 'Twas a pie full of cherries. I had a bite of it afore I knew what I was eating.
Cherries, you say?
Aye, cherries. And this after I took particular care to give Mistress Sprottle a list of foods I must not eat. I added cherries to the list when I did hear that the Countess of Devonshire has declared against their noxious qualities.
The Countess of Devonshire, you say? Noxious qualities, indeed.
Okay.
And now your symptoms, Mr. Mugg. Had you any reaction after eating these cherries?
My reaction? Well, I reacted as any man would. I spat them out. And know you what Mr. Sprottle did then, Dr. Forman?
Nay, but pray tell.
He did laugh at me.
That is
He
most
even called me a
serious.
dinner-ralphing fusspot. Fie, I may soon be in the grave, thanks to George. Will he still be laughing then?
Well, let us not speculate, shall we, Mr. Mugg? Now, let us see what the stars may tell us. What ails Nicholas Mugg?
Let us not speculate. Instead, let us see what the stars tell us. Ate some cherry pie. What ails me? Suffering from cherry poisoning. Mugg is a splendid, occasioned by rancorous behavior. I don't know what that means. I don't know the word splenetic and I don't know the word rancorous. Cherry poisoning. But he's not poisoned by it. He didn't eat any cherries, did he? Is that what he wants to hear though? Because he was like, I've been poisoned. So this might just be like, oh, he's just overthinking. He didn't even eat any cherries. He merely touched cherries, but I'm gonna try and do the thing where I'm trying to tell them what I feel like they wanna hear.
Aye, it seems you have indeed been poisoned. The cherries have provoked an imbalance of choler. You must take the antidote for cherry poisoning, which is... let me see what I have here in my cabinet. Ah, yes. Saccharum officinarum. Dissolve a pinch of these crystals on your tongue before dinner for a week.
Saccharum?
Saccharum officinarum, more commonly known as sugar.
Sugar, forsooth. I have heard tell of sugar. 'Tis a rare and fine substance, I do believe, and therefore doubtless most efficacious.
So you're recommending wine and sugar? I think that people still want to go visit you to this day. To Grant did come a fear that he was ill, having eaten food that the Countess of Devonshire, who I note is not a licensed doctor, has deemed unwholesome, and did diagnose an imbalance of colour occasioned by the consumption of cherries. I gave the current sugar crystals as treatment. Methinks the current was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. So this is a correct reading, and the thing is that I probably got to my professional doctor's license quicker if I do this. If I tell the people what they want to hear, if I give them something that makes them feel better, because sugar is not going to do, like, especially a couple of sugar crystals on your tongue, it's not going to do anything to anyone. But sure, he liked it, right? Yes. I must now to my crochet go, for they say the Countess has had a portrait painted in which she sits beside a bowl of grapes. Well, that is something to, you know, take a proper look at. Easy.
William! Ah, there you are. Did Mistress Allen call whilst I was out this day? Nay? You're quite sure about that, are you? Ah, I see. I cannot understand it. Why has Avis not come these past weeks? Does she no longer wish to see me?
Why does Avis no longer come to see me? Well, because you are accusatory for no reason, I guess. I've been deprived of tender favours of late, but my fortune seems to be reversing. Expect to see Avis again soon. And Mistress Allen's reluctance to see me is but the legacy of my unpleasant manner towards her in the past, brought by my super suspicious fancies. So this would be an honest answer, wouldn't it? There's only self-constraint and sense of duty towards her husband that keeps Avis from calling on me, because how else would she? It was cruel of Avis to allow me to hope they would one day be together. Avis feels that she has treated her husband carelessly. His feelings cannot be trusted. She harbors romantic feelings towards other men. Oh, you could go down further on that route. Avis does not know who the father the child she carries. It's because of my behavior. I mean, it's plain as day, isn't it? It's in the stars.
So, it is the madness of my love that keeps Avis away. My jealous passions and accusations have vexed her, mayhap even caused her fright. When she comes to see me again, for she surely will, by and by, I must remember to be kinder to her, to not plague her with my suspicions. And until Avis does return, well, there are other women in the world, are there not?
Yes, there are. I wish to know why Avis Allen no longer comes to see me. I learned if Avis is troubled by my jealousy. I've often remarked the power of my charms have over my lady currents. Well, I can't write myself a letter of recommendation now, can I? Sir, I must thank you for your resolving the misunderstanding betwixt me and my neighbour, Mistress Molly McDoone. You advised me that my Saturday morning headache and chundering were not caused by her witchcraft, but by my consumption of strong drink. You spoke true, and for that I am grateful. Although if Molly was not then the author of my suffering, she surely is now, for since we become friends, we go together to the tavern every Friday. Your current Alice Blake. Well, at least she might write me a letter of recommendation soon.
Done, for she is a lady.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Much time has passed since I last saw you. How do you fare?
In truth, not well, Dr. Forman, not well at all.
Oh,
Then I am
what's the matter?
full sorry for it, madam. Pray, tell me what manner of ill has befallen you?
First, I must beseech your pardon, sir, for methinks Mr. S may verily be my prowler after all, as you did surmise.
Oh.
Think nothing of it, madam. But what has made you change your mind about him?
I have been publicly humiliated. Mr. S has been circulating a collection of insulting sonnets about an unnamed dark lady, and all of London thinks this dark lady is me.
Well, your complexion is rather, that is to
I
say...
am described as having foul breath and black wires for hair. Though methinks the very worst line is the one that tells of a gross body rising at the utterance of my name. And I cannot abide illusions, Dr. Forman. If Mr. S wishes to reference bodily levitation and other such cheap stage magic, he would do well to leave my name out of it. My interest is in the dramatic arts, not fairground attractions.
I am not sure that is quite his meaning.
Dr. Forman, you know of Mr. William Shakespeare, then? Do not tell me you have read the sonnets.
Well, I own that I have. But as you did remark, madam, all of London has read them.
Oh, woe, I am undone. My professional reputation is now utterly spoiled, for now the whole world will look upon me as naught but Mr. Shakespeare's fancy wench. No longer will they judge me on my own merits.
That
Let
might be
us hope
true.
it is not as grave as that, madam. Have you discoursed upon the matter with him?
Nay, I dare not confront him about it. For we are almost at an end with our work on a play, and I dare not risk it not being staged.
Then let us see what the stars advise. What may Mistress Lanier do to restore her professional reputation?
Well, let's see about that. My reputation has been sullied by William Shakespeare's bawdy poems, so what should I do? Mistress Lanier harbors secret thoughts of adultery, which relate somehow to her intellect and her feelings of dissatisfaction. I don't think so. She's ignorant of romantic feelings. This must be reversed. Should abandon her career ambitions and revert to her true vocation, bringing forth new life. Should have another child. That's not what the stars are telling me. Mr. Zania is confused about her feelings for me. How interesting. Because you're looking for a new, like, lady. God will help Mr. Zania if she exercises constraint and discipline. Or, Mr. Zania must find a way to dissociate her name from these sonnets, for if she does not, her literary legacy will be betrayed by association with them. The relationship between Mr. Shakespeare and Mr. Zania is not an equal one. Shakespeare's arrogance will overshadow Amelia's contribution to the plays they're writing. That sounds about right.
You are right to be concerned about the damage to your reputation, Mistress Lanier, for there is a danger that your partnership with Mr. Shakespeare and his depiction of you in his sonnets will forever overshadow your own literary achievements.
God's womb. But what can I do to forestall such an injustice?
I suggest you spread a rumour of your own about another lady. For instance, there is a brothel owner in Clerkenwell they call Black Luce. If you were to put it about that she is the subject of Shakespeare's sonnets, 'twould do her reputation no harm. Indeed, the effect would be quite the reverse, for doubtless there be many a man at present who would pay handsomely for a tumble with Shakespeare's dark lady.
Well, indeed. I do feel 'tis most important to advance the interests of my fellow women, especially those seeking to make their way in business. Oh, do you see that, Dr. Forman?
What?
It is your mute Italian querent, Signor Ferraro. He is staring at us through the window.
He's not mute.
Then doubtless he has come for another consultation.
Well, let's see what he wants. The querent fear her reputation has been defiled by poems of bawdy nature written by Mr. Shakespeare and currently being circulated around London. I did advise the current to spread the competing rumour that the dark lady of Mr. Shakespeare's sonnet was a lady by the name of Black Luce, the brothel keeper in Clerkenwell. Methinks the girl was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. You've received a little recommendation. Nice. Not only shall I rescue my reputation, I shall be a good ally to this. What was her name again? Yes. A Black Luce.
When it feels like an Italian cliché, when it feels like an Italian cliché, Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Welcome, sir.
Senor, and well met.
Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come
It is
on
me,
to see the great
Mario.
Doctor Simon Forman.
Indeed, I did recognize you, Senor. How may I assist you this day?
I am ill. I tell you my problems. First problem, I do make a chandar in the morning. Next problems, my belly does swell and my chest is most tender to the touch. And now, for the very most terrible of problems, I have the big fears. One moment I do weep, and the next I do curse and gnash my teeth. So, dottore, you tell what ails me, huh? You wanna make a water into this cup? Un momento, I make the water.
Nay, not in my... prithee, hold. If you please, Senor. As with our previous consultations, I shall be judging your illness by reading the stars.
As one does.
You need not my...
Nay, Senor, I have no need of it. Whilst 'tis true that most physicians do spy and sniff their patients' urine, I find this method of piss-pot diagnosis most imprecise. Indeed, the practice is quite primitive.
Oh,
It is my belief that if medicine is to advance in this modern age, we must all adopt a more scientifical method. I am quite sure history will bear me out on this question.
This scientific method.
Fell off.
This reading my diagnosis in the stars?
Precisely so. Speaking thereof, perchance we may consult the stars now. What illness troubles Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Let's see. What were the symptoms? Suffer from swan belly, tender chest, chundering and moodiness. What ails me? Senior Farrar is troubled with apoplexy, a condition of the brain provoked by sun fit. It affects sensory perception, causes swelled neck veins, memory loss, and gnashing of the teeth. So mattering in the breast, which is a gathering of corrupt matter in the chest, or occasion pain in the breast. Also no. He's with child. Those are the symptoms of being with child, though he cannot be. But as we suspect him to just be testing me.
This is exceeding strange. Your complaints of a tender chest, morning purges, swelling, along with the positions of the planets, they suggest you are with child.
You would judge me, a man, as being with a child? God's blood! What kind of a dottore are you?
I thought he was
Well,
testing
indeed.
us.
It does seem strange. I may have gotten my calculations wrong. Unless, of course, your moustache is naught but a canning disguise. But I jest, Signor. 'Twas not my intention to doubt your manliness.
You jest! A lady who would disguise herself as a man?
Really?
So silly. I think you see too many plays by Mr. Shakespeare, huh? Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Okay. Oh, that might be. The current did present with symptoms of tender chest, swollen abdomen, involuntary upward purging, and moodiness. I did tell the current he was with child, a physical impossibility. But why did the current tell me he had such symptoms? Methinks the current took my advice a little ill. God's blood, there was close shave. So apparently that is the secret behind him not being able to speak Italian. Interesting. I thought he was somebody testing my skills as a doctor. I will leave it at this. I don't know whether this will come in later, like with some others where it comes in later and I do get points afterwards for, oh actually you were right. So maybe otherwise I will not be getting his letter of recommendation. But we'll see. Thank you so much for watching.